The state legislative session just recently ended, and one piece of legislation that we thought may affect Detroit Lakes directly as far as taxes are concerned was a 1% local option sales tax. That particular proposal, which the city of Detroit Lakes did request from the state of Minnesota, never made it out of committee, therefore never got to a budget, never got to a House floor vote, and is something Minnesota and Detroit Lakes residents will not have to worry about voting on come in the fall. But what if that 1% sales tax was passed by the legislature? Would you have supported it? After the 1% food and beverage tax passed last November, I thought it was very odd that the city of Detroit Lakes even asked for a 1% local option sales tax on everything in the entire city. It would have acted just like today's current state sales tax does. But the idea was if they would have enacted that, things like local government aid would have gone away and possibly even the 1% food and beverage tax. But now that those things are not going away, and now that we know that the 1% local option sales tax is not an option for the city of Detroit Lakes, at least this year, it's time now to get serious in our priorities. Many people over the last few months have seen Detroit Lakes do expansion projects, such as the North Washington project. They also heard about the expansion of parking for the downtown community, which is going to be assessed for thousands of dollars to each property owner. And, you know, the loss of local government aid, I don't think is as serious as the city is making it out to be right now, considering the city rose property taxes, or increased property taxes, I should say, by over 9% last year, precisely to make up for the loss of local government aid. And although the city was told to budget for over $900,000 in local government aid for this year, they only budgeted for half that amount in anticipation they wouldn't get it. And if the indicators are correct, it sounds like they're looking at getting about the same amount of local government aid as they did last year. But since the state of Minnesota ended its session in St. Paul without any of the 9 major budget bills being passed, including the ones that affect local government aid, that is still waiting to be realized. The only spending bill, in fact, the state of Minnesota passed was the ag bill, which was $79 million to help out with area farmers, livestock, and so forth. It was the only one the two sides could come to agreement on. But in Detroit Lakes, we need to just look at ourselves and make those choices. We've cut the staff of the Parks Department and inside city staff as far as it can go. I think it's time the City Council looks at cutting maybe from itself. I know there's health benefits and so forth that the 9 members of the Detroit Lakes City Council get. Maybe they start cutting there before they start cutting off the other things that the city really needs. If they are so critical to the city's infrastructure, then cut something else that isn't critical to the city's infrastructure. We have 9 city representatives on our council for a community of 8,500. We have 5 county commissioners for the entire county of 32,000. We have several committees in the state government that have to look at things 2 or 3 times before it gets to the city council. I think there's plenty of fat to be trimmed in the city of Detroit Lakes. And it's not jobs and it's not staff. It starts right at the very core of the city council, right at the very core of all the committees, right to the way they're being paid as well. I've thought since day one, I moved from a community of similar size in Iowa to Detroit Lakes. They operated their city with a 5-person city council. I was blown away by the 9 city council members that the city of Detroit Lakes has, similar to the size of city councils of major metropolitan cities like Minneapolis and St. Paul. Do you really think we need one city council person that represents less than 1,000 residents of Detroit Lakes? I would propose that we cut at least 2 of the aldermen at large seats. Make it so you have the 3 wards, 2 people elected out of each ward, and then 1 alderman at large along with the mayor. That would cut it down to 7. That's 2 less elected official salaries, insurance premiums that we have to pay. That's got to be thousands of dollars in savings right there.